You find an old photo of yourself. Maybe you were 16, maybe you were 22. You look at the eyes in that photo and something feels off. Not the haircut, not the clothes, something underneath. You wonder if you would even like that person if you met them at a party today. But the real answer is far stranger than nostalgia. Your brain is doing something to you right now. It has been doing it your whole life, and it is the reason you can barely remember who you used to be, while somehow being completely certain about who you are now. Think about the version of you from 5 years ago, their opinions, their taste in music, the things that used to embarrass them. Does any of that feel far away? Almost like a stranger wore your face? Now think about you 5 years from today. Does that person feel far away too? Probably not. Most people picture someone almost identical to who they are right now. Same values, same face, same core self, just older. This is not a coincidence. It has a name. In 2013, psychologists Jordi Koidbach, Daniel Gilbert, and Timothy Wilson ran a study across thousands of people, ages 18 to 68. They asked each person 2 questions. How much have you changed in the last 10 years? And how much do you think you will change in the next 10? The pattern was almost perfectly consistent. Every single age group reported major change looking backward, and every single age group predicted almost no change looking forward. A 20-year-old and a 60-year-old gave nearly identical answers. Both felt like they had already become who they were going to be. The researchers called this the end of history illusion. You believe history, at least the history of your own personality, has just finished. Right now. Right at this exact moment you happen to be living in. It is a strange kind of arrogance your brain builds without asking permission, not because you think you are perfect, but because change is hard to imagine from the inside. You can remember becoming who you are. You cannot picture becoming someone else. So why does this happen? Why does your brain lie to you about your own future? Some of it comes down to memory. Your past self is a finished story. You already know how the chapters ended, so your brain compresses it, edits it, smooths it into a clean narrative where the changes make sense. But your future self has no story yet. There is nothing to compress. So your brain does the easiest thing available. It assumes blank pages will look like the page you are on now. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus spent decades studying how memory actually works, and one of her core findings should unsettle you a little. Memory is not a recording, it is a reconstruction. Every time you remember your teenage self, you are not replaying an old tape. You are rebuilding it, using your current beliefs as the glue, which means the version of past you that you compare yourself to was already edited by present you before the comparison even started. That photo you looked at earlier, you are not seeing who you were. You are seeing who present day you decided that person must have been. Here is where it gets stranger. The philosopher Derek Parfit spent much of his career on a single unsettling question. Is the you of today actually the same person as the you of 20 years ago? Not in a poetic sense, in a literal one. Parfit argued that personal identity is not a solid, unbroken thread. It is closer to a river. The water is always moving, always being replaced, and yet you still call it the same river. Your memories, your values, your personality traits, they overlap heavily from one year to the next, like adjacent slices of that river. But the you from 20 years ago and the you right now share almost nothing in common if you compared them directly. Cell for cell, belief for belief. You are not one unchanging person carrying a suitcase of memories through time. You are a long chain of slightly different people, each one handing experiences off to the next, like a relay race where every runner is a little bit changed by the leg they just ran. And this is not just philosophy. Your body agrees. Skin cells replace themselves roughly every 2 to 4 weeks. Red blood cells last around 4 months before your body builds new ones. Even parts of your skeleton remodel themselves over the course of about a decade. The you sitting here now is, biologically speaking, built from almost none of the same raw material as the you from 10 years ago. So if your cells are not the same, and your memories are quietly rewritten each time you access them, and your brain refuses to believe your personality will ever shift again. Then what part of you is actually stable? Maybe the honest answer is nothing, permanently. Only a pattern that updates one small decision and one small experience at a time, so slowly that you never notice the version currently running. This is why the question hits differently than it first seems. Do you like the person you have become is not really about liking a fixed identity. It is about liking a moving target, a target that was assembled from thousands of tiny choices you have already made, most of which you do not even remember making. Which means the question you should actually be asking is not about the past at all. It is about right now. Because whoever you become 5 years from today is being built out of what you do today, not out of a personality you already locked in. Every conversation you avoid, every hard thing you choose to do anyway, every small cruelty or small kindness, these are not just actions, they are raw material. Future you is a river, and you are standing upstream, deciding what flows down. There is a quiet kind of freedom hidden inside all of this. If your personality were truly fixed, then disliking who you are right now would feel like a life sentence. But it is not fixed. It never was. The end of history. Illusion tricks you into thinking change is behind you, when the truth is the opposite. Change is the one constant you can always count on. So the next time you look at an old photo and feel that strange gap between who you were and who you are, do not treat it as evidence that you finally became the real you. Treat it as proof of how much you are still capable of becoming. Because the person you will be in 10 years is not sitting somewhere in the future waiting to be discovered. They are being built right now, in this moment, out of choices you have not made yet. You find an old photo of yourself, and this time, instead of wondering if you would like that person at a party, you wonder something else entirely. Whether the version of you still being built right now, today, is someone worth becoming.